I'm Detective Chief Inspector Jane Tennison, attached to Southampton Row Police Station. We're in the interview room at Southampton Row. I'm interviewing... Would you please state your full name and date of birth? Would you please state your full name and date of birth?
Robert Oswald, 13th of August, 1961.
आप मेरे सोलिसिटर हैं ना, इसलिए मैंने आपको फोन किया है। देखो, हमारे यहाँ गार्डन में एक बॉडी मिली है। मैंने एक बिल्डर मंगवाया था जिसके लिए मैंने काम करवाना था। हाँ, काम चल रहा था और नीचे से जमीन से एक बॉडी मिली है उनको। आप मुझे बताइए मैं क्या करूँ? यहाँ चारों तरफ पुलिस आए हुए है, हंगामा हुआ है। मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा मैं क्या करूँ। हाँ, एक मिनट मैं अभी आ। Excuse me, please. देखो बच्चे परेशान हैं, मैं भी परेशान हूँ, बीवी परेशान है।
Laying new drains.
बताओ, आप आए, कब आएंगे आप यहाँ?
I think it's covered in polythene.
So, she consented to sex with you?
Why you go on with? She was begging for it, man.
Well, if she was a willing partner, why did you use violence? Why did you hit her?
You know these things, how them happen.
No, I don't know.
Some of them are white thing, them like it rough, you know.
Oh, Jesus, Frank, what is it with you and red lights?
Follow me. Wait for the red and left.
All right, yeah. I'm going to rule. George.
I just murdered someone.
Shut your mouth and move that bike.
Oi, nobody talk to him like that, see? We live there, not you.
What's
Right, shut up.
Are you in charge? Yes, sir, for the time being.
Then please take it away.
We will, sir, as soon as possible.
Not as soon as possible.
Now, I pay my poll tax. I'm afraid it's a suspicious death, sir. And as such, all this has to be done properly. Now, can you go with this officer, please?
I'm just going to ask a few questions, so I'll be able to for you, man.
How did you know that this girl wanted it rough?
I knew the way she looked.
Or how did she look?
She had blonde hair. And she was wearing a red blouse. And a tight black skirt. Like for you.
So she didn't actually say anything to encourage you. But that's not surprising, since you tore her tights off and rammed them down her throat.
It's just her word against mine.
No, it's the doctor's reports of forensic evidence and her word against yours. How many other women have you attacked? How long before you kill someone?
Colonel! If that is my Simone that's in there.
I've just arrived. Give me a chance to find out what's happening. We won't be issuing any statements tonight. Now go home. You should all just go home.
You never did try to find my daughter. It is not
You people should go home.
If it's my Simone, you won't be able to stop us from going into her.
Get the area cordoned off properly. This turns out to be Simone Cameron. We've got a real problem. The forensic boys here? Yeah, they're waiting for you.
What you're saying is that the slabs were replaced when you bought the house, is that right?
Of course, yes.
And you haven't done any work yourself?
I'm telling you no.
Thank you. Down here, sir. Right. Let's take a deck out.
Look upon her now.
Sit down, please, Robert.
She love it. Cocktease, ain't it? What she say I did to that bitch is just turning her on.
Sit down, please, Robert. You know, the thought of a woman being humiliated doesn't turn me on. Someone being frightened half to death. But that turns you on, doesn't it? I mean, it must do. Why else would you force yourself on someone? You're a very attractive man. How tall are you?
6'4".
Oh, really? Well, I'm sure a lot of women do fall for you. But not this one.
Some women say no when they mean yeah.
Ah, so she said no to you?
I said some women.
She said no to you?
I have nothing to say.
She said no. That's not begging for it. That's not
Bullshit,
consent.
man. She
That's
put word in my
now,
mouth.
let me ask you this, Robert.
Good. Well,
when you...
that seems a
Mrs.
convenient
Thorndyke, I
place
haven't
to
finished yet.
Unfortunately, we're going to have to, since it's well after 6.
Unbelievable.
Excellent. Though I would just sound one word of warning. Some of DCI Tennison's more unconventional questions might get a less experienced officer into difficulties. Remember, under pace, no attempt may be made to bully or threaten a suspect. And finally, well done, D.S. Oswald, for playing his part so convincingly.
And finally, tomorrow's first session will be on interviewing the victims of rape. Okay, see you all at 10 o'clock. I'm too good at that, Detective Sergeant.
Thank you, Mom.
You having a drink later on?
Maybe. But I might just have an early night.
Oh, I might see you then.
Looks like it's a female, Oscar.
Oh, yes. What makes you say that, Mr. Gold?
It's wearing a bra.
Oh, God, that's all we need. Tony, you take up till Tennison gets here.
But she's still on that course, isn't she, Gov?
Not anymore, she's not.
Already?
Yeah. Now, what was it you were saying about white women liking it rough?
Hey, that wasn't me. I don't think like that.
Oh, I know. I'm sorry. Hey. You know what I'd like to do now?
What?
Let's drink the entire contents of the minibar.
Why?
I don't know. I just feel like it.
Okay. What would you like first?
Champagne.
Right.
Oh. God. This Dame Sybil. Don't make a sound. Hello? Hello, Gov. About 2 hours, why? Right. Okay. Okay, see you. Bye.
What's wrong?
That was my Gov. He wants me back. Now.
What?
Yeah. He wants me to head a murder inquiry. Yeah, I'll have to tell Thorndyke. Damn, it's my lecture tomorrow.
Look, sod Thorndyke.
I'm sorry, Bob. There's nothing I can do about it.
I know that.
What's your problem, then?
What about us?
What about us?
I see.
Bob, I'm not saying I don't want to see you again, okay?
Aren't you?
Come on, this is hard enough as it is.
Look, I hear you, okay? The detective chief inspector has given her orders.
What did you expect? You know, that's really unfair. I mean, it's not as if the love of your life is walking out
I just
on
don't like
you.
being treated like some black stud.
Is that what you think's been going on here?
Yes, I do.
Well, that's in your head.
Is it?
I think you'd better go.
Don't worry. I'm going.
I hope I can rely on you to be discreet.
You really are something else, aren't you?
I don't know anything about rape victims.
And then it's time you did. It's attitudes like that that account for the fact that only 8% of rapes are ever reported. They're my notes.
Well, I'll be a help, but it's bloody annoying.
Well, what can I do, David?
Hasn't Mike Kernan got other DCIs available?
Yes, but he wants me to head it.
Well, why?
Maybe he thinks I'm a good detective.
Yeah, but why this specific investigation?
Well, the body's been found in Hungerford Road, where the Cameron family still live. Added to which it looks like it could be Simone Cameron.
Well, that's politically sensitive, certainly. Word of advice. Charges may be brought against the officers involved in the Derek Cameron case if it goes to the Court of Appeal.
Well, quite right, too, if that boy was fitted up. What are you getting at?
I'd be careful if I were you. This may not turn out to be such a prize for you. Well, obviously, you're a liberated and enlightened woman.
Oh, thank you, David.
But don't be too trusting of our Afro-Caribbean friend.
Well, that's your advice, is it? Good luck tomorrow.
Oh, and drive carefully if you've been drinking.
Nola! Go on home!
Not if it's my Simone. I don't want to lose her a second time.
Natural plant fibre, such as cotton, tends to disintegrate. Forms part of the diet of the early inhabitants of the corpse. But wool, like hair, well, they're made of the same stuff, can be remarkably resilient.
How old do you think she is, Oscar?
She hadn't quite finished growing, so still in her teens, I'd say.
Well, how long do you think it would take for a corpse to get like this?
That I can't tell yet.
Oh, come on, Oscar. Minimum time.
2 years, don't quote me on that.
So it could be Simone.
Now, you see, you're doing it already.
Now, when were these garden slabs laid?
Before the responders came here.
Yeah, which was?
About 18 months ago.
Do we know who they bought the house from?
All he gave me was the name of a property developer.
And have these slabs been disturbed since then?
Not according to the workmen, no.
So she must have been put down there before they were laid, then? Our prime suspect has to be whoever was living here when she was buried. We need a definite date of death, Oscar.
Is there any of that soup left?
Oh, if there is, could you get some out to Nola Cameron if she's still out there? The rest of you might as well go home. I'll aim to have a briefing at 10 a.m.
Right, go.
Can you get a shot of that for me?
Hands tied together at the back with a leather belt.
Just a minute, madam.
My daughter, Simone.
Calm down. Take it easy.
Simone!
It's all right.
Simone!
It was all arranged weeks ago. I go with the CLO. I can't back out now, but it's going to be a nightmare. I want you to be there. Community centre. Starts at 8.
No, thanks. I'm trying to give up.
Christ. Since when?
6 days, 5 hours, and, about 15 minutes.
The meeting is supposed to be to discuss community policing, but given what's happening just now, we're sure to be dragged face down through the shit about the Cameron family. And Phelps is coming down tonight, and he's bound to have the media in tow. That man can smell a vote winner from 50 miles.
Well, let's face it, Gov. Nola may be jumping to conclusions, but we can't claim to have done well by her family, can we? Not if it turns out that Derek was
Yes,
fitted
well,
up.
let's concentrate on the immediate problem. Is it the Cameron girl or not?
I don't know. And I won't find out anything from Oscar Bream till tomorrow at the earliest.
Yep. Yes, I'll hold. If we could find out one way or another before tonight's meeting, our lives would be a whole lot easier.
I'll see if the forensic boys can shed any light, and I want the rest of that garden dug up in case there are any more bodies.
Christ, what do you want? Another Nielsen? Sir? That's right. Well, I thought she was the very best person for the job. It requires tact and... Well, I'm sure she'll be able to cope. I will do. Goodbye. Now, how in hell does the commander know what happened on your course already?
What do you mean?
When I brought you back to lead this inquiry.
Well, I'll give you one guess, and it involves funny handshakes.
Thorndyke. Same lodge.
I'll put my money on it.
You better make sure you vindicate my decision.
I'll do my best, sir.
You've got so many things that...
Yeah. Anyway, she suggested this,
Right, we need a name for this operation, Tony. Where are we up to in the A to Z?
I think it's N, Gov.
Good.
Yeah, all right, okay.
Look up the first N for us, then, would you?
Right, Gov.
Tell her, no way, I am not opening a book.
Why not? We can all earn a few quid out of it.
Because last time I ended up 75 quid out of pocket.
You know why that was, didn't you?
Right.
No, it wasn't my fault, it was because you talked me into it.
Right. As some of you are aware, workmen digging in the back garden of number 15 Honeyford Road have uncovered skeletonized human remains. The hands were tied behind the back and the body wrapped in polythene, so it's definitely a suspicious death. As some of you who've been down there will be aware, there's a lot of speculation going on in the area that it could be the body of a local girl who went missing a few years ago, Simone Cameron. Pull that out for me, would you, Jonesy? Certainly her mother, Nola Cameron, who still lives a few doors away from number 15, is completely convinced that it's Simone. Well, I'll get the forensic boys and the pathologist to give me an answer to that as soon as possible. But in the meantime, we've got to take Nola Cameron's fears seriously. The unfortunate thing is that the Cameron family have been the centre of attention in that area for some time now. You know, the eldest boy, Derek Cameron, remember Derek Cameron? Well, he was accused of stabbing a white youth to death, and he was sent to prison on the basis of a confession made right here in this nick in 1985. Well, now there are doubts cast upon the safety of that conviction. In fact, a campaign led by Jonathan Phelps, Labour's candidate in the local by-election, to have Derek's case brought before the Court of Appeal is gaining a lot of support from all sorts of people. So there is a lot of anger and bitterness and resentment against the police.
We always take the brunt of it anyway, don't we?
Right. Well, it looks like we can rule out the present owners. So our first priority is to find all former residents of number 15. So let's get down there straight away and see what information we
Right,
can
lads. Passports are ready.
get. Now, you know, that's out of order, Frank. Have you been listening to a word I've been saying? I don't want the Camerons, and that means the uncles, the aunts, the lot interviewed at all. And as far as the other residents go, remember this. If we go in there expecting aggro, start leaning on people, well, we'll get it. So it's easy, does it? You're all graduates of the rank charm school, right?
Frank.
Now, I want a list of all former residents of the Honeyford Road area for the last 10 years.
10 years? 10 years?
I've asked Diaz Haskins to be our office manager.
Did you get that as well?
Tony, you got a name for us?
Yeah, the first N is Nadine Street, Gov.
Nadine, very nice. So it's Operation Nadine. All right, come on, let's go. Jonesy.
Go on, love, run along, quick.
Haskins.
I'll get all this stuff bagged up for you as soon as possible so you can get Mrs. Cameron to take a look at it. Pull over remains. Bra. Label from her jeans, pants, trainers, and so on. Not very helpful, I'm afraid.
I've got a pair of those.
Sorry.
They're not cheap.
Oh, looks like a piece of skull. Could you get it sent over to Oscar Green?
Sure.
But we have found several coins, the most recent of which is 1986. But most promisingly so far, the belt that secured her hands behind her back. Very distinctive buckle. Could have belonged to her, I suppose.
Or the killer.
Morning, local CID. Good morning, madam. DC Lilly, local CID. We're investigating a suspicious death in this area. Excuse me. Oh, Jesus Christ, here we go.
Frank! Wait, Frank! Shut your mouth! Frank, no, you know! All right, love, calm it down, relax. They're gonna worry. What's going on?
No, you wouldn't wear them for tennis. They do your ankle to.
Right, what we got on the property developer?
Since gone bankrupt and disappeared off the face of the earth.
Jane, a word.
Yeah, in a minute, Gov.
My office now.
Conan the Barbarian.
Birkin has just arrested a young black lad for possession. He's doing his bloody house to house. There's a smell of spliff and he barges in. Pulls the lad out by the scruff of the neck.
I don't believe it.
So now we've got bricks thrown into the garden of number 15, a reception full of people bleating on about infringement of civil liberties and police harassment. With this bloody meeting tonight, I just don't believe it.
Do you want me to remove Birkin from this inquiry?
We can't do that, Jane. I'm up for promotion.
Promotion?
Chief Super. Right now, I can't afford to do my dirty washing in public. My interview will be a nightmare if this keeps up.
I hope you'll be recommending me for your post.
Oh, do you? Well, don't take too much for granted. Now, get this boy cautioned and released and tear bloody Birkin up for arse paper.
Look, Gov, he was blatant, almost blowing a smoke in me face as if to say, go and nick me.
That's not the point. At the moment, what with the Cameron case...
Derek Cameron's a villain. He deserves to be banged up.
Frank.
So he had to be leaned on to confess. So what?
So what? So our reputation goes down the toilet again.
What reputation? They hate us. Well, I'll tell you something, I ain't so keen on them. As far as I'm concerned, one less on the streets is no loss.
You're making a fool of yourself.
No, if they don't want to be part of our country, why don't they go home, sort out their own
That's
problems?
enough, Frank. Just shut it. If I hear an outburst like that from you again, it'll be a disciplinary matter.
Yeah? Then perhaps you better take me off the case.
You won't be off the case, Frank. You'll be off the force. If you think fitting someone up because they're black is okay, then you shouldn't be old Bill at all. As simple as that. Yeah, I'll be right there. I mean, Jesus, this is a murder investigation, Frank. A young girl finishes up buried in someone's backyard like the family cat. Her skull smashed to pieces. What difference does it make what colour her skin used to be? I want that boy cautioned and released and then get back to work. This way, Nola. I want you to look at these things and tell me if you recognize any of them as having belonged to Simone.
Yes, they're all her things.
Lola, take your time. Look at them carefully.
Yes, these are her things.
We found this belt buried with her. Do you recognize that?
Yes, this is her belt. She always wore this belt.
And what about this watch?
That is hers. I bought her this watch.
Do you want to sit down? Would you like a cup of tea?
No, thank you.
You know, the experts will be able to give us a lot more information soon. Your dentist has supplied Simone's dental records, and we can compare those with the girl that we found. And that way we'll know absolutely for sure. Until then, I'm afraid these things are all that we've got to go on. Now, you sure you recognize all of them?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
I see. Thank you very much.
Any information? Report just in from Gold Boss. He reckons Nadine's body was infested with maggots, blue bottles.
Yeah, so?
So, blue bottles won't lay their eggs on the ground.
So that means she must have been above ground for a while before she was buried.
At least a few hours. And the other thing is, she must have been killed in the summer, because that's when the flies are active.
And Simone went missing in February. Which means when I go into this meeting tonight, I'm none the bloody wiser.
My concern is that Derek Cameron's case reaches the Court of Appeal and that someone who's been wrongly imprisoned for 6 years is released. The Police and Criminal Evidence Act brought in stricter safeguards for the interrogating of suspects. But that was not much help to Derek Cameron.
If that means a no-go area... If that means a no-go area...
With respect...
Then I'm afraid I can't make any such assurance.
The idea is not to create no-go areas, quite the reverse. Now, we've heard from your community liaison officer, who is, of course, a white police officer.
Oh, sorry, that's a racist remark, isn't it?
About sensitive policing, community policing. Yet once again, local people are being treated as second-class citizens.
Now, if you are talking about the investigation that I am heading...
I am.
Then I believe that that's being carried out in a completely professional
in a hostile and intimidatory manner, with violent arrests being made by your officers, though, of course, no charges were brought.
One of my officers was provoked into making an action which, in retrospect, can be seen as being hasty. Look, the most important thing is that there's a murderer out there walking free. We have to find that person. To do that, we need the help and the support of this community. Now, afterwards, myself and 3 of my colleagues will be staying behind in the hope that you might be able to help us, give us some crucial information. For example, who was staying at number 15 Honeyford Road before the Viswandas?
We know that. He left here at the same time as
Mrs.
my
Cameron.
daughter Simone went missing.
Please.
What was his name? Somebody
I
here must
would like
remember.
to ask Mr. Kernan about the heavy police presence in the Honeyford Road area at this moment.
I'd like to ask him how he's got the front to come here in the first place, when Derek Cameron's banged up in prison for something he didn't do.
Obviously,
Let him answer.
Let him answer. Obviously, I am unable to discuss the details of that case. Yet I would have thought my presence here this evening is indication of good faith.
The justifiable anger and unhappiness at what has happened to Derek Cameron cannot be so easily dismissed by a police officer who was stationed at Southampton
I'm
Road.
not dismissing
The Cameron
anything, I'm
case
simply
focuses
trying.
on the fundamental question. Is it possible to expect justice in this country if you are a person of color?
Alan, A-double-L-E-N.
Listen, I don't like the police.
Thank you.
But I tell you this, you should talk to the guy that Nola mentioned.
Yeah?
White guy, about 50. Worked as a builder.
Can you give me his name, sir?
We argued about parking space, you know. And in the morning, all my car was covered in brake fluid.
I see.
But don't worry, I got my own back.
Go on then, tell me.
Pissed in his petrol tank. Dave Hardy or Hartley, something like that.
Word is a family called Allen lived at number 13. One or two people think they might have owned number 17 as well. Thing is, Esme Allen still runs a West Indian takeaway, which is nearby.
Well, give it another half an hour, okay, and then keep it ready. Okay. Thanks.
My son studied film school exam, you know. And my daughter Sarah, she studied law at the university. I tell you, them think the world is at them feet. Them will never have to scrub floor or take out rubbish here.
Let's hope they don't come down to hurt with a bump, innit?
Mrs. Allen, Mrs. Esme Allen.
Yes, dear?
I'm Detective Chief Inspector Jane Tennison.
It's not bad news, is it? Don't tell me someone's been hurt. Sarah?
No, no.
Not Tony?
No, it's all right. It's nothing like that. We're just making some inquiries, that's all.
Oh, my Lord, you give me a fright. Is it about that poor Cameron girl?
Yes, that's right. In a way, it is. Is there somewhere a bit more private we can talk?
You take the lady downstairs. I'll look after the shop.
All right. Come this way, dear.
Thank you. Mrs. Allen, I understand that in the 80s, you and your husband used to own number 15 Honeyford Road.
Yes, that's right.
But you lived at number 17 with your family?
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but I'm afraid a body has been found buried in the back garden of number 15.
My God.
So we're very anxious to trace the former occupant.
You think he killed poor Simone?
We just want to eliminate him from our inquiries. What was his name?
David Harvey.
And do you have any idea where he lives now?
No. My husband might know, but, well, we tried not to have anything to do with him. I wouldn't let my daughter go near that house. We all knew what he was like, particularly with young girls. He wasn't always like that, but after his wife died, I thought they were a lovely couple, but after she'd gone, drinking and cursing and, you know, carrying on.
I think I'd better speak to your husband, in fact, to the whole family, as soon as possible, please.
Yes, this evening. We'll all be there this evening.
Fine, thank you.
It's Harvey, not Hardy, not Harley. Harvey, H-A-R-V-E-Y. So we've got to start again. I'm going to see Oscar Bream. Okay, bye.
Takes a pleasant change not being up to the armpits in someone's viscera. So this girlie is sorely taxing my memory of student anatomy classes. You know, there are 206 named bones of the body, 26 to each foot for a kick-off. Luckily, most of those were still inside her plimsolls.
Well, that's fascinating, Oscar, but is it Simone Cameron?
Absolutely not.
What?
As I said, like Simone in her teens, 15 to 16, but taller. Simone was 5'7". This girl is 5'8", 5'9". The moment it looks as if she was all there, no mutilation, good head of hair. Luckily, Paul here likes jigsaws. That could be a bit of the zygomatic art.
Look, are you sure that it's not Simone?
Yep. Want me to point out the differences?
Not particularly, no, thank you.
What else? Fractured her wrist when she was younger, playing netball. Perhaps she fell off her bike. That's for you to discover.
Don't rub it in. Well, look, can you tell me if she's black or white?
No.
Shit. I've been going up a dead-end street.
Well, we've got a man here who can do all kinds of jiggery-pokery with the skull to ascertain ethnic origins. Better still, a medical artist who could make you a clay head at a price.
Is he good?
He's our very own Auguste Rodin.
Yeah, but is he good?
Naturellement.
It's expensive, right?
Do you want to put it to Mike Kernan?
No, sod it. Let's do it.
Okay.
So, how long before I get it?
3 weeks.
Fine. I'll pick it up in 3 days.
I'll talk to him. Perhaps if you were prepared to model in the nude.
That's sexual harassment.
What isn't these days?
How did she die, Oscar?
No idea. The skull could have been smashed after death. For all I know, she could have been buried alive.
D.A. Harvey.
Done those?
No, Harvey. That's H-A-R.
When would he be able to
Yeah,
why?
Yeah, it's just I'm trying to. No, Harvey.
Yeah, no,
Find out
I'm going to do something myself.
So his name's Harvey.
Have you got anything for me?
Nothing so far, boss. But we have got some small stuff dug up from the garden of 15.
Oh.
Jones is getting it from Gold.
Well, let's hope it's good. Right, listen up. I've just come from Oscar Bream at the Path Lab, and it is definitely not Simone Cameron. So we've got to operate on 2 fronts. Find David Harvey and identify Nadine. And it's a bottle of scotch for whoever gets David Harvey.
Come. They found a plastic bag buried as well. Gold is definitely linked to the girl. You claim this. Cloth is West African. Several yards of it, in fact. And those ivory bracelets are Nigerian. Yoruba amulets. Supposed to ward off evil spirits. Didn't work for Nadine. They're very old and very valuable.
May I talk to Esme, your mum?
Yes, police were here. Mum's answered the door for you.
Hello, it's Jane Tennison.
Yes, come in. This way. Thank you. This is my son, Tony.
Hello, Tony.
And this is his daughter, Cleo. Say hello, Cleo.
Hello.
Hello. Tony and his girlfriend are doing the decent thing at long last. And their daughter is to be a bridesmaid.
Ooh.
Lord, how times have changed, huh? Sorry, you wanted to see my husband?
Yes, please, thank you. So when's a happy day, Tony?
Do you like my dress?
Yes, I do. Oh, I think that's lovely. Oh, Tony, just a minute. Could you have a look at this for me, please? That's a description of the dead girl. Do you remember seeing anyone like that in the Honeyford Road area in the mid-80s? She might have been at school with you.
I'm a bridesmaid.
You are, aren't you?
Have you ever been a bridesmaid?
Yes, I have. You know, never the bride.
No.
Come along, baby. Say bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Wedding boy. Chief Inspector, what can I do for you?
And you have no idea where David Aloysius Harvey lives now?
I'm afraid not.
And you bought this property in, when was it, 1989, right?
Yes.
And Mr. Harvey obviously moved in shortly afterwards.
With his wife. After she died, he let things go.
Hmm. And then you sold the property in 1989 with Mr. Harvey as a sitting tenant?
Yes.
Did that lead to any bad feeling between you and Mr. Harvey?
Some. Not much. The problem we had was that he was very erratic in paying the rent. Sometimes he seemed to have money and sometimes not.
I presume you had a set of keys to number 15?
Yes.
Mr. Allen, did you do anything to the garden while you were the owner of the property?
No, Harvey laid the slabs. I didn't want him to, but he did very much as he pleased, really.
And when were those slabs laid?
I'd say 1986, 87.
Because, you know, it's almost certain that body was buried before the slabs went down.
Yes. I can see that.
Mr. Allen, how is it you can afford 2 properties with your pay?
As Miss Caffey has always done well. To tell you the truth, it was her money that paid the second mortgage.
And your son's at public school?
That's right.
When will you ever learn, Pop? Black people aren't supposed to own businesses, houses, get an education.
This is my daughter, Sarah. Now, there's no need to be rude.
I agree.
Sarah, you're the law student. And you're 20. So that means in the summer of, let's say, 1986, you would have been, 20...
14. Mathematics not your strong point?
No, not particularly, no.
It's my son David who's a wizard at maths.
Sarah, did you ever see anyone like this in the vicinity of Honeyford Road?
Yes, of course. Simone Cameron.
No, it's not Simone. We're sure about that. Would you look at the description, please?
Well, then, if it's not Simone, you'll need to be a bit more specific, won't you? That's if you can be bothered.
And what does that mean?
Well, the police aren't exactly noted for their enthusiasm when it comes to solving cases when the victim is black, are they?
Was she black? Doesn't say so here. Maybe it's you who's jumping to conclusions. When's the happy day, Tony?
2 weeks away now.
Well, I'll see you before then. Thank you. Bye-bye, thank you.
Take care.
You got anything on David Harvey yet?
Not yet, Gov. We've tried the electoral roll, NHS, the SS, rates. I've just finished working my way through the phone book.
You know, Vernon said he was erratic on paying his rent. Did you check the credit reference agencies?
No. Mrs. Eileen Reynolds.
Oh, got pen? You fancy a drink?
No, I should go home, really.
Oh, right, the twins. Go on, off you go.
No.
Night, Richard. Right, well, they've done the tests on Nadine's skull. It seems she was of mixed race, West African and probably English.
Oh, that would explain the Nigerian bracelets, then.
Yeah, right. Let's see what David Harvey's got to say.
Jesus, I hope the lift's working.
You know, you ought to give up smoking cigarettes. Make you feel a whole lot better. Ah, here we are.
There's nothing worse than a born-again non-smoker.
David Harvey?
Yes?
We're police officers. Could we have a word with you, please? So why did you move away, Mr. Harvey?
Had my first heart attack. When I got out of the hospital, I came here to be closer to Eileen, my sister. I didn't want to live there anyway. Not after my wife died. I only stayed on because a big darky wanted rid of me so badly. Should never have moved to this dump. I'm a bloody prisoner. Lift's always in a blink. Place full of junkies, pimps. That's her. That's the wife. She was the gardener. Lovely garden when she was alive. I try to keep it going after... Oh, well, you know. In the end, I paved it over. I can tell you exactly when as well. I had some stone cutting equipment. Yeah. There you go. Last week in August. It was during all that week that I did the digging. Took up the grass, leveled it all off. I laid about half the slabs by the Saturday, stayed with Eileen Sunday morning, stayed on till the Monday.
And Eileen lives locally?
Well, she does now, but in those days she lived in Margate. Anyway, when I got home on a Monday, I finished laying the rest of the slabs and cemented them in.
So then the only time that the house was left unattended was, let's see, that must have been on Sunday the 31st of August.
That's right.
Hmm. And did you notice anything unusual when you got back?
Unusual?
Well, no signs that anyone else had been digging in the garden, no extra earth anywhere?
No.
I must say, Mr. Harvey, if someone asked me what I was doing on the last weekend in August 1986, I don't think I'd be able to remember. How is it that you can recollect so clearly?
Because my wife died on that day the year before.
Oh, I see.
Eileen asked me down to stay with her so as I wouldn't be my own, you know? Oh, that'd be my lunch. I spend that weekend with her every year. Don't know how I manage with her. She always sends my food over.
Oh, good. My colleague will want to have a few words with her.
Oh, no, it's not that. This is my nephew, Jason.
What's going on? We're police officers.
So, you're certain you don't recognize this girl from this description?
What do you want with my uncle?
Quite sure. I'll tell you later.
Look, you know he's not very well.
I'm fine. Don't worry about it. I'm fine.
Look, What's all this about?
Your uncle will tell you after we've gone, Jason. Thank you very much, Mr. Harvey. We'll show ourselves out.
Lying bastard, trotting out his alibi like a speech he'd learned by heart.
Yeah, right.
And he wasn't shuffling about like that 6 years ago. If he could lay those slabs, he could smash a young girl's skull.
Well, we'd better get a move on then, hadn't we? Before David Aloysius Harvey dies on us.
Where's DCI Tennison?
Following up a lead, Gov.
Okay. I have your attention, please. This is Detective Sergeant Bob Oswald. Bob's joined us from West End Lane to assist on Operation Nadine.
Where's the medical artist studio?
First in line.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi.
I'm DCI Tennison. I believe you're making a clay head for me.
Come in. May not look like much at the moment, but I have high hopes. She had the most beautiful skull I've ever seen.
Really?
Oh, yes. See this? The orbicularis oris. The muscle overlays the maxilla and mandible on the eminences due to the incisor and canine teeth. Its fibers surround the oral aperture. Function, closing of the mouth and pursing of lips. See, I'm a scientist. Otherwise, I'd have said it's the muscle that allows you to kiss someone.
When will she be ready?
By the end of the week.
Hang on. Why me?
Bob needs a desk.
No, that's not an answer. Why me?
Because you're only ever at your desk to drink coffee.
Yeah, because normally I'm out there, mate, making sure the streets are safe to walk. Super Lily.
What is happening? I mean, it's bad enough having the policeman, let alone work with them. He's only saying that because he's taller than you. I'm talking about no, he ain't.
Can you shut up, can you, and get on with some work?
Tony, can I have a word, please?
Yes, come.
What's Bob Oswald doing here?
Why? Do you know him?
Answer the question, Tony.
Well, he's part of the team. Colonel brought him in.
Thank you.
Reception, please. Reception.
Jane.
I want a word with you, Gov. Now.
Right. Thank you, Sharon.
What do you mean by co-opting someone onto my team without telling me?
Well, it seemed to me that a black officer would be, how can I put it, a useful addition.
Well, why didn't you consult with me?
Actually, I consulted the community liaison officer who thought it was an excellent idea. A black face prominent in this inquiry, an antidote to the Birkins of this world. Are you saying you can't use an extra man?
No.
Then what are you saying?
Look, if he'd been a part of the team from the beginning, that would be different. But now, every time I ask him to do something, it's open to misinterpretation.
I don't understand.
It smacks of tokenism. It's political manoeuvring. I mean, you should have asked me first. Pulling rank just undermines me.
I wasn't pulling rank. I was just trying to help you.
Oh, bollocks. Sir.
You can't work with a man.
Well, yes, I can work with him.
Because all my sources reckon he's a good officer.
Yes, I'm sure he is.
So what have you got against him?
Nothing. Well, we didn't hit it off particularly well on the course.
I don't want you to marry him, for Christ's sake.
Look, I don't want him on my team.
He's on the team already.
I've made my decision. I'm not going back on it. Now get the man briefed and put him to work. We'll review the situation at the end of the week. I'll be watching the progress of this case very carefully from now on.
Are you expecting me to believe that this is a complete coincidence?
Well, I don't know about a coincidence. How many black detectives did he have to choose from? What I'm saying is, it has nothing to do with me. You know me well enough to know I wouldn't ask to be the token black on your team.
Well, just don't think that what happened on that course gives you any special privileges.
I don't.
Don't you dare tell anyone.
Jane, please, what do you take me for?
Don't call me Jane.
Look, give me some credit now. What happened, happened. It's gone. Long since forgotten about. Let's not give it another thought.
Yes. Right. Well, I'll see you back in the incident room then. I'll be along in a minute. We could have the clear-head by tomorrow, by the end of the week at the latest. So after talking to Harvey, our best bet is to concentrate on Sunday, the 31st of August, 1986.
Has Harvey got an alibi?
Yeah, his sister, Eileen. But I'm going to see her shortly. But what we need now is a name. You know, we've got to build up Nadine's life story. Then maybe we can connect her to Harvey.
I've been wading through these statements. One or two people talk about a young girl staying in the basement at number 15.
Really?
Conflicting reports, but I mean, it could have been 86.
That's brilliant. Right, I'd better make a start on missing persons. Bob, could you handle that for me, please? Tony, see if you can have a word with Harvey's consultant. Make sure he's not just a bloody good actor.
Well, if he is, he should win an Oscar.
Yeah, right. All right, that's it for now.
Nice one. I'm glad to see the boss is keeping their colour friend in his place.
Gov, can I put someone else on Whispers?
Why?
With respect, Mum, it's ridiculous having a man of his experience
No.
doing...
He might pick up on something a more junior man might miss. Don't call me Mom.
I'm sure, of course I'm sure. Every year since his Jeannie died, he wouldn't have left until the Monday morning. What you lot have got to remember, he's a sick man. You shouldn't be hounding him.
Mum, they have got their job to do.
He's waiting for an operation, you know. You'll be the bloody death of him.
We're not hounding him, Mrs. Reynolds. We're trying to eliminate him from our inquiries.
You wouldn't be hounding him like this if he was a black man.
Mum.
Mrs. Reynolds, I've questioned your brother once, that's all. Which is not surprising, considering the body of a young girl was found buried in his garden.
Well, that's a load of rubbish. Simone Cameron this, Simone Cameron that. Was it Simone?
No.
Exactly. It's my brother you should be concerned about. He's the one that's dying.
So, is that all for now?
Yes, thank you very much for coming.
Come on in, Mum.
Look, don't fool me about. Well, he's in the hospital tomorrow. Thanks to you.
Mum.
Just one last thing. You said that you and Mr. Harvey fell out because he wouldn't move.
Yes.
Is there nothing else?
What? No.
But didn't he sublet the basement to a girl?
That had nothing to do with me.
What had nothing to do with you?
Whatever she was doing.
And what was she doing?
I don't know. It was none of my business.
Well, it was if she was a prostitute, Werner.
Why?
Because as the landlord, you could have been done for running a brothel.
How dare you use the word brothel?
Well, what word would you use?
I was at work all hours. Esme was too. A neighbor told us men were calling there. I spoke to Harvey straight away, but I have no proof. Then suddenly the girl seemed to have gone.
Did you see her?
Yes.
Was it the girl whose remains we've found? Is that why you won't cooperate?
Listen. My family are very upset. It is an important time for us. A wedding should be a time of joy. I have cooperated with you in every way so far.
Then please answer the question. Did she answer to the description that I've given you?
No, she was a white girl.
Not just light-skinned.
No, white.
Can you describe her, please?
Small, perhaps 5'2". Tiny thing, really. Blonde hair, bleached, I'd say. Young, but not the girl you described.
Did you have sexual relations with her?
I did not.
And what was the relationship between Harvey and this girl?
God knows. I wouldn't put anything past that man.
And when did all this happen, Vernon?
Could have been the summer you've been talking about.
The Vishwander's brief's been bending my ear. He tells me forensic are still there, poking around the house, lifting up carpets, floorboards, the lot.
So?
Let's get them out of there as soon as possible.
Of course.
Let's see then. Very nice.
Right, I want these photos to appear everywhere they can. That's local and national press. From now on, you'll show them to anyone who might be able to help. Let's get the Allens in to see this. Vernon Allen has confirmed there was a Tom working from the basement of number 15 that summer, but his description doesn't fit our Nadine. But, I don't know, maybe Nadine was a Tom as well. Perhaps Harvey was a small-time pimp. Harvey's going to be in hospital all day tomorrow, so I can't tackle him till the evening about it.
She doesn't look like a prostitute.
Well, ask around anyway. Okay. Vernon Allen has confirmed the whereabouts of his family on the 31st of August. You know there's that reggae concert in Honeyford Park on the last Sunday in August? Well, you ought to. Some of you made enough overtime out of it. Well, Vernon Allen says that Esme was at that concert. Apparently she's there every year. She runs a stall selling West Indian food. Well, Tony Allen was also at the concert, which, as you know, it's an all-day affair, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Now, Vernon stayed at home to look after Sarah and David. Tony returned home at about 9 p.m. so that Vernon could go to work. Now, I've checked with Vernon's work records, and he definitely did do a late shift that night, right through Sunday night and late into Monday. Now, by the time Esme had packed up and got home, it was about 10:45. And she says by the time she got home, all the three kids were asleep and in bed. Now, obviously, I'd like these accounts verified wherever possible, OK?
Perhaps that's the link between Nadine and Honeyford Road.
Sorry, what is?
Reggae Sunsplash.
Yeah, go on.
Well, Harvey could have met her there. Or Tony Allen. Perhaps the victim's bag of African cloth was a costume of some sort. She might even have been performing at the concert. That's a good point.
Well, that's an interesting thought. Worth following up. Frank, Gary, I want you to go first thing tomorrow morning to the Sunsplash organisers. See if they can point you towards any bands using musicians or backing singers wearing African gear. OK? Right. Anything else? Any more bright thoughts?
Nope.
Nope? All right, well, that's it then.
Right,
Was it going on?
Let's go down to the canteen, Chief.
What do you mean you're off? I'm off.
Why are you doing this to me?
What?
Treating me like the office boy.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Why didn't you send me to see the concert organisers?
Well, you're busy already. Besides, I thought you didn't want to be given special tasks because of the colour of your skin.
I don't. I want to be given a task commensurate with my abilities and experience.
Well, I want you to continue overseeing Miss Peirce. But I would also like you to arrange for the Allens to see the clay head. Watch their reactions.
Thank you.
No.
Are you sure, Vernon?
Absolutely.
Esme?
No, dear. I'd remember if I had. What a beautiful child.
Tony, what's wrong?
Come, Tony. Sit down. Don't fuss. It's very hot in here. He suffers from asthma.
I see. Have you seen her before, Tony?
No. Never seen her.
You're certain?
I'm certain.
He's our prime suspect and he's dying. We're not going to sit back and watch.
I don't know why you're so bothered. It's just another runaway, another dead prostitute.
You don't mean that.
I do, if it means climbing these poxy stairs again.
She's someone's daughter, Tony.
Yeah. Anything we get from the old sod's likely to be thrown out of court anyway. He didn't know what he was saying. I'm pressing...
No. I've never seen her before. I did let out the basement room that summer. Admit it. There's nothing wrong with that. The big darky complained about everything I did. He just wanted me out.
So why did you let the room, David? Did you know the girl already?
No, I've never seen her before. Look. It seemed a very big house just for me. And I needed the money. So I put a card in the newsagent's window.
What was her name?
Tracy. Sharon, I don't remember.
How long did she stay?
A couple of months.
Which months?
June, July.
Not August.
Oh, she'd gone by then.
Did you know that she was a prostitute?
No.
Could she have been friends with this girl?
It's possible.
Do you think she had a set of keys to the flat?
It's possible, I suppose.
Could she and some friends have used the flat that Sunday you were at your sister's?
Why should I know? As you say, I wasn't there.
Your father remembers her. She was bleached blonde, slim, about 5'2".
Well, I don't.
Do you like reggae, Tony?
What?
I do. Reggae, soul, jazz. Do you like jazz?
What are you talking about?
Just talking, man.
Well, don't. Just leave me alone.
Well, don't jump the rails,
I
Tony.
don't remember any girl.
one last thing, David. Could we have a photograph of you, please?
Why?
It'll help to eliminate you from our inquiries.
I'm gonna get it back.
Yes, of course. One from the mid-80s, if that's possible.
Are you the photographer?
No, my nephew Jason.
Very good.
Here. Younger and fitter there, eh?
Thank you. I'll get it copied and have it sent back to you as soon as possible. I'd remove that if I were you, David. That's not very safe.
So somebody can get in if I collapse.
It's all the same. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. You make a wonderful crime prevention officer. All right, night, Gov. I hope you get something.
Thanks. See you tomorrow.
All right.
I wouldn't if I were you, dear. Hi, Rachel. Fancy something to eat?
Well, if he's a pimp, I've never seen him before. I'll ask round about the bleached blonde. So much to go.
Telling me.
Maybe she was one of those that tried it for 5 minutes and decided it was no kind of life. One of the sensible ones. Still, I suppose someone might remember, because most of the girls that do that area are black.
Look, this is a likeness of the dead girl.
Spooky. No. Never seen her before either.
Do your best, okay?
I always do.
See you around. Thanks.
Jane, remember, Friday's Emma's first birthday, so you won't forget to send her a card, will you?
Haven't forgotten, Mum.
Oh, and if you're back by 10:30, you can telephone me. Oh, and Daddy sends his love.
Thanks, Daddy.
Mike Kern at 9:35. I was hoping for an update, Jane. Any results from your clay head? It's my interview tomorrow, and they're bound to ask me about Operation Nadine. Particularly whether my DCI's come in on budget. Anyway, ring me tonight if you can, or drop by my office first thing. Bye.
So, we've spoken to the concert organisers. They've given us the names of the bands using backing singers, and we're talking to them now.
Let's tread carefully there, Jane. We're under the microscope. How's Oswald getting on?
Fine.
What?
There.
How do I look?
Like a chief superintendent.
Good.
I don't know nothing about it.
Do you want to look at them, sir, before you answer?
I tell you, I don't know her.
Right, mate. DC Rosper, Southampton Road. Please look at the photograph before you answer me.
You can't make a man look at a photograph if he doesn't want to.
Can't I? But I can nick him for obstructing police inquiries. Now look
He
at
wasn't
it.
even with the band then.
Can I have a word, Frank?
Let me take a look.
Gov?
Your butty man want a word with you, Frank.
What did he call me? Don't know. Yes, you do. I'm gonna nick him. Oh, that would be a big help, wouldn't it, Frank? Listen, perhaps I've got to give you this lead to see if you can manage to talk to a black guy without arresting him. I think that drummer might know something. Let me go back in there and have a word, yeah? Well, go on then, but you're wasting your time.
Gov. Thought you might like to know. Forensics have found a fragment of our girl's tooth between the floorboards in the front room of number 15.
Yes! I think I might have found it.
Yeah?
Joanne Fagunwa, mixed parentage, went missing in early '85 from Birmingham.
Got a photograph?
Well, I suppose that's with a file, but that's in Birmingham.
Get it faxed through. If it looks promising, then go.
To Birmingham?
Yes. Richard, did we check on when Mrs. Harvey died?
August 85, wasn't it?
Will you check on that?
Yeah. Boss, can we go now,
Yeah,
please?
come on, let's go. Right, David Harvey.
Nice one, Bob.
Later.
Yeah, man, later.
Where's Dirty Harry?
Hey?
Your partner.
Clint Eastwood, ain't it?
All right, yeah, sorry about that, man.
You like reggae?
Yeah, solid guy.
Scene.
Cheers.
Peruse these at your leisure.
Wicked. Cheers. Vids from '86. Apparently 2 bands use girl backing singers. Do I have what it takes, or do I have what it takes?
I'm not saying you killed her, David, but what I am saying is that she was killed in your house.
What?
Shit. Call an ambulance, Tony. Don't move, don't move.
Hello, love. Yes, can I have an ambulance, please?
Quick.
Right, Jonesy. Listen, we're going to the hospital, all right? So you can contact us there. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
You know, we could lose this one if Harvey croaks.
Right, come on. Can I show you these photographs?
Yes.
Do you recognize these amulets, Mrs. Fagunwa?
Yes. They belong to my husband's family. He gave them to Joanne.
Then I'm sorry to tell you that they were found with the remains of a young girl. Can I show you a photograph of a clay head we've had made?
Yes.
Does that look like your daughter?
Oh, yes. It's very like her. It's very clever.
I'm sorry.
How did she die?
Well, we're not certain, but the circumstances are suspicious.
Don't tell me she suffered. Please, please don't tell me that.
How's it going, Gary?
I'm having a skunking good time, Skip.
Are you indeed?
Are you feeling all right?
Her father died that year, you see. I still don't know why she left home. She had everything. She even had her own pony. She had everything.
Did Joanne ever have any accidents as a child?
No? You know, the usual cuts and bruises, but, oh, yes, she did. She broke her wrist. She fell off her bike. Well, anyway, she rejected it all. She started having bits woven in her hair, you know, beads, and her hair isn't even black, really. It's more a dark brown with gold threads. She was almost blonde when she was little, and her skin looks almost tanned more than anything else. She was such a pretty little girl. I've got so many photographs. I keep meaning to sort them out. I don't think the local police treated her disappearance seriously. They're just another young girl leaving home, going to London. Loads of them do that, don't they? I saw a documentary. It isn't just Joanne.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
She always thought the best of people. Perhaps we protected her too much. I don't know. Have you got children?
No, no. Would you like a cup of coffee?
That would be lovely. Perhaps if ours hadn't been a mixed marriage, do you think that could have been the problem? Made her go off like that?
That's right. And Bob Oswald called in. He's got a positive ID. Joanne Fagunwa. He's bringing Mum in now.
Brilliant.
Look, turn it down, please.
It's the ambulance. He didn't look that bad.
He's a very ill man. You've seen that for yourself. You've also seen he has great difficulty breathing, even when lying flat. He needs complete rest.
Dr. Lim, we have reason to believe that Mr. Harvey was involved in the murder of a 17-year-old girl. Now, I don't mind what conditions you make, but we have to talk to the man.
Oh. This I recognise. It's my one and only attempt at knitting.
Thank you for your kindness. Do you think you'll find out how it happened? I mean, you know, find the person who did it.
I'm sure we will.
I wonder... this may seem... Could I buy the clay head when your inquiries are over? It's just that... Does that seem strange?
No. I'll find out for you.
Only there's nothing else, is there? There's nothing to remind me of my baby.
Did the Allens have keys to Harvey's house? I suppose he must have. Where did Tony Allen go to school?
Have you seen this, Bob?
Is that the tape of Joanne?
Should have a look. I think I'm in love.
I was his head of year. I remember it very well. Bright lad. Done very well in the fifth form. Good results, going on to A-level. Sights set on a college place. And when he came back in September, he'd changed. He was surly and introverted. A loner.
Let me know as soon as he wakes up.
I will. I spoke to him. Headmistress spoke to him. Got Dad up here. Nothing seems to help. Ah, there we are. September 86. I'm usually right. Educational psychologist report. Help yourself.
I see Tony played in a band.
Did he? I didn't know that. We did our best, but there was really no point in him staying on. The only person he seemed to relate to was his Sarah. He'd gone by Christmas. I still see him in the supermarket from time to time. Waste, really. Bright lad.
Hello?
Jane?
Who's this?
It's Bob Oswald. Jane, look, I know this is a bit unexpected, but I want to talk to you.
Well, can't it wait? You know, I'm expecting a call from the hospital. No. All right. This had better be good. Now, I've seen this.
There.
Your finger. Very interesting.
There's a better shot in a moment. There.
Is that Tony Allen?
Tony Allen.
Jesus.
Now, he's concealed the fact that he was playing at Sunsplash, so evidently knew Joanne. Now, the Allens had keys to Harvey's house. And I've been to his school and
No, wait. Now, let's think this through. I mean, just because he's on the same bandstand as Joanne, that doesn't mean it's... Oh, shit! This could be it. I'm expecting Harvey to come round.
What's this?
Oh, that's last night's dinner. You know, it's one of those frozen chili con carne things.
And what have you got for tonight?
One of those frozen chili con carne things. DCI Tennison. Where do you think you're going? Oh, right. Good. She got a number. It's a call box, is it? 23. Got it. Tell her I'll call her straight away. Thanks. It's not the hospital. It's a snout of mine's trying to get through to me.
Right.
What are you up to? Rachel, it's me. What you got for me, darling? Bye. What the hell do you think you're doing?
What's this?
It's lettuce. Well, it was. Once.
You really need to eat some decent food. There's a telephone call. Anything interesting?
No, not really. Apparently the girl who was at number 15 jacked it in soon afterwards, went legit. No one seems to know where she is now, but they're sure she's not on the game.
Well, I took a look at Tony Allen's school record today. Now, everything was fine until 1986. Apparently he came back from the summer holidays a different person. And the educational psychologist report talks of anxiety, depression, low self-esteem.
What is it with you?
What?
What are you trying to prove?
Do you have any tomato puree?
No.
How can I work in these conditions?
It's as if you're trying to take some kind of test all the time.
Well, you're no different. I watched you on the course. You know they're all lined up wanting to see you fall flat on your face, Thorndyke and all the rest of the senior shits. So you want to be the best, come out on top. Well, I'm the same as you. Which is why, when I calmed down and thought about it, I understood why you've been treating me like the office boy.
And why you've gone off and done a number on your own. Now, I mean it, Bob. You are a member of a team.
Am I?
Well, from now on you are.
OK. I don't suppose you've got anything to drink. So let's pick him up.
No, not yet.
Look, I know that boy's involved in the murder.
You have no evidence of that.
You didn't see his response to the clay head.
All we know for sure is that he was on that same bandstand as Joanne.
So he's been lying?
Yeah, and we'll tackle him about that when the right time comes.
What does that mean?
It means not yet. I can crack Harvey. I'm sure he holds the key. That little bastard might croak on us at any time.
I thought you'd really go for this.
Look, I don't want to argue about it, Bob.
Obviously, the point is I shouldn't have come here, should I?
Well, no, you shouldn't, as a matter of fact. We said that at the hotel. Well, I mean, that's not the point, actually. Look, all I'm trying to say,
don't bother.
Bob, is... Oh, hello, girl.
Yes, it went very well, since you ask.
Sorry, what?
My interview.
Oh, yeah, right. Good, good.
Any
yeah.
news on Harvey?
Apparently he's regained consciousness. I'm going to see him right now.
Well, gently does it, Jane.
Yes, yes, yes.
Get him anything he wants. Solicitors, doctors, nurses, geisha girls, anything.
Yeah.
Just so long as his brief can't suggest you got a statement out of him unfairly.
Of course, of course.
Excuse me, Gov. Apparently, Harvey's wife died in October '85, not August.
So his sister's been telling fibs.
So it would seem.
Well, let's see what Harvey's got to say about that.
By-election today.
Well, why aren't you wearing your blue rosette?
Senior policemen are politicians first and foremost, Jane. Remember that if you're up for super.
We in?
Well, Dr. Lim's still a bit jumpy, but I think so.
Good.
I don't want him upset. Any extra pressure on his heart could be fatal.
Give me some more beer, Bill, and then go to tea.
Hello, Tony. You don't remember me? Detective Sergeant Oswald. Just thought I'd do a bit of shopping. And while I'm here, perhaps you could take a look at this. Do you recognise her? It's Joanne.
Why don't you people just leave me alone?
Because you're telling us lies. You knew Joanne.
No.
You were both at Sunsplash together. Better than that, you played in the same band. Remember her African costume, Tony? Her bracelets.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, yes, you do.
Don't.
Don't you think it would be a good idea to talk to me, David? Get it off your chest.
Why?
David, we know that Joanne, that was her name, we know that Joanne was killed inside your home. A fragment of her tooth was found in the house.
Doesn't mean I killed her.
Now, your wife didn't die in August, did she, David? Jeannie died in October 1985. What's the point in lying, David, carrying all that guilt? You know you're a very ill man. If you do tell me, nothing will happen to you. It'll never come to trial. We'll just be able to clear this whole thing up. And most important of all, you'll feel so much better.
Yo, Tony! All right.
What is wrong with you? Why are you doing this to me?
Doing what, man? I've been shopping.
Leave me alone. Just leave me alone!
You know, I'm a Catholic too, David. It's been a long time since my last confession. But the one thing I do remember is that feeling of relief, you know? A great weight being lifted off your shoulders. I think we all want to believe in something, don't we? We'd like to think that we could just repent. Everything will be all right. If only we could just turn the clock back and make everything all right. You're dying, David. Why don't you just get it off your chest? Just tell me what happened. No more lies. It's too late for lies. Come on, you can talk to me.
Can I?
Of course, you can have your doctor present, a solicitor, Jason, your sister, anyone.
I know I'm only 55 years old. It's a joke.
Sure, the doctors will do all they can.
I'm very frightened.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Boss is in.
So, how is he?
He's a little better. Jason, your uncle wants to talk to me.
Yeah, so I was told.
And he's asked that you should be there.
Right.
Well, I would ask for you to remain quiet, not to interrupt while I'm talking to him.
Okay, right.
Let's go in.
Is Tony in?
You know I'm in. You followed me home.
Can I come in, Tony?
No, you can't.
I'd like to ask you a few questions.
You heard him. He said no.
I don't have to answer your questions.
Who told you that? Sarah, the law student.
Hello. Go back inside, love.
She says you either arrest me or stop harassing me.
Tony Allen, I'm arresting you for the murder of...
No! Where are you taking him?
Phone my dad! Phone my dad!
Do you wish to consult a solicitor or have a solicitor present during this interview?
No. Water.
Calm down. Come on, take it easy. Little interview will all be over. Good boy. Come on.
Anthony Allen.
I'm going to get the doctor to take a look at him. I don't think he's fit to be detained.
He's all right. Just let him stew for a bit.
Look, I'm the custody sergeant. Don't try to tell me my job, right? Yes.
You do not have to say anything unless you wish to do so. But what you say may be given in evidence. Do you understand, David?
Yes.